Today I have prepared for you a selection of Turkish series with such a famous actor as Alperin Duymaz. Today's selection opens with the series If a Man is in Love, starring Alperen Duymaz, Busra Devilay, Yasmin Kayalan. Zeynep is a young woman who is raising two children alone after her divorce from Okti. They married in their student days because of their great love, but despite this, he cheated on her. Upon learning of this, she immediately filed for divorce, lost faith in faithful men and closed her heart to love, and from now on, only her sons, Kagan and Arda, exist for her. And now, in the most difficult period of her life, Kenan Akarsoy appears before her. He is one of the most successful businessmen in the country. He is lonely, handsome, intelligent, and ready to help. He has many women around him, but it is not easy to win his heart. The meeting between Kenan and Zeynep will be fateful for both of them, bringing with it true love. Sweet Cheats. Starring Deniz Can Actors, Alperen Duymaz, Barak Deniz, Dilan Sisik Deniz, Sukru Ozildaz, Busra Devilay, Ozan Dalyane. Once upon a time, 5 pretty girls. 5 best friends were inseparable from each other. They had no secrets from each other and were ready to discuss their problems all day long. They knew how to be happy for a friend and offer a helping hand in time if it was necessary. They had no enemies or even just ill-wishers. The girls lived an ordinary, quite calm life that did not portend serious changes or tragedies. And then one day, quite unexpectedly, one of the girls disappears. Her trail goes cold. Years later, the friends receive a strange message in which the secrets of their friend's disappearance begin to be revealed. The girls do not ignore the message and decide to resume the search, but they do not even suspect what dangerous traps they will fall into in the near future. If you have already watched this series, please write a comment or review to help other viewers with their choice of the series. Bitter Love, starring Alperen Duymaz, Seçkin Özdemir. The series tells a dramatic story in which emotions take precedence over reason. Bulut, a promising young man, never asked anyone for help and solved all his problems on his own. From the first meeting, he fell in love with a charming girl named Melekade. It seems that nothing will prevent the couple from uniting their lives, but a divorcee Sadet appears in their destiny. She is in love with Bulut and wants to reciprocate. Her thirst for love is too great and she is ready to do anything to achieve her goal, to weave intrigues, to make insidious plans. Another hero, Ali, is not indifferent to Melek and wants to destroy the relationship between the lovers. The boundless feeling overshadows the guy's mind, and in his attempts to achieve reciprocity from his beloved, he does not understand that it is impossible to forcefully tie a person. Will loving hearts be able to pass the test, remain faithful and devoted? The Last Summer, starring Alperen Duymaz, Ali Atay, Fonda Arigit. The paths of idealistic prosecutor Salim Kara and a young boy Akgun, Alperen Duymaz, who grew up in the world of crime, cross at an unexpected moment. Salim receives an offer he cannot refuse from Selçuk, an organized crime leader whom he sent to prison. Selçuk will testify in the prosecutor's case, but in return, he asks Salim to protect his son. Prosecutor Salim will be forced to bring the dangerous Akgun to his family. On the one hand, his marriage and family, which is falling apart, and on the other hand, the problematic Akgun, whom he promised to protect. Besides the bad, there is good in life. Collision, starring Kıvanç Tatlıtuğ, Elçin Sengu, Alperen Duymaz, Melissa Asli Pamuk. Police officer Kadir feels guilty for the deaths of his wife and daughter. He decides to commit suicide by causing an accident. In doing so, he changes not only his life, but the lives of 3 other people who were on the road. Kadir Adali is the captain of a crime-fighting unit in Istanbul. Kadir sets up an accident that kills 3 people besides him. Zeynep is a bank employee whose daughter Layla was kidnapped by her husband. Kerem is a thief and a poor guy who has recently been released from prison and wants to start over. After a car accident, fate will never separate them again. The characters will have to overcome a lot and build their lives together. If you have already watched this series, please write a comment or review to help other viewers with the choice of the series. A Bodrum Fairy Tale, starring Timurcan Izan, Alperen Duymaz, Dilan Sisik Deniz, Toprak Saglam, Ezgi Skendler. Eren Erguvan is a businessman, the owner of a hotel chain. He is a rich and ambitious man. Together with his wife Yildiz and children Su and Atesh, they live a luxurious life in Istanbul. After a series of bad decisions, Eren went bankrupt and his whole life went downhill. The family is left with nothing but an old house and half of the shares in a small hotel in Bodrum that they inherited from their father. The Erguvan family is now forced to give up their luxury, move into an impoverished house, and start life anew. Bodrum, where they often spent their summer vacations, is about to show them the true face of their family and life. The Chill. Starring Ike Asian Turan, Alperin Duymaz, Kaner Jindarak, Hazal Feliz Kukakis, Zarin Tekender. Firuz and Ayaz are two young men who are responsible for their families, fall madly in love with each other, but at the insistence of their mother Ayaz has to leave Firuza and get engaged to another girl. One day, an accident occurs at the construction site where Firuza's father works. He is accused of killing 13 people. Firuza tries to prove the injustice of the accusation and to prove his father's innocence. On the way to the truth, Firuza again encounters Ayaz, who, as it turns out, owns the same as the owner of the same construction company and has something to do with the accident. If you have already watched this series, please write a comment or review to help other viewers with their choice of the series. Egos or Men Cannot Be Trusted. Cast: Alperin Duymaz, Melissa Asli Pamuk. The plot centers on a couple in love, Erhan and Alif. The main characters have been together for a long time. They are close to the most important day in their lives, their wedding. The characters' most cherished dream is to finally create their own family nest, to live in peace and feel comfortable. However, life goes downhill when Erhan encounters criminal activity and becomes a victim of fraudsters. These debts are so large that it seems that the man will never be able to pay them off in his life. Erhan and Alif, who dreamed of happiness and prosperity, now get a nightmare and an eternal struggle for survival. To get out of this, Erhan is forced to accept an offer from the owner of the company he works for. Sibyl appears very unexpectedly, overwhelmed by the desire to help the unfortunate, but there is a price to pay, and it is a very peculiar price. If you have already seen this series, please leave a comment or review. Series Chuker. Starring Aris Buludinemli, Riza Kokoglu, Bariz Ardak, Alperin Duymaz. The series will be set in Turkey, where one of the most disadvantaged neighborhoods, called Chuker, which means pit. Life here can in no way be called prosperous, since this place has its own rules and regulations, and every resident of this area must adhere to them. Only crime flourishes here, as nowhere else in the whole of Istanbul. The unofficial control of this area is in the hands of the Kokoval family. The head of the family immediately imposed a strict ban on drug trafficking and use. Only this circumstance does not suit one group, which is using this case. Yamak is a young man. He was the youngest of the Kokoval family. He returns to his native land because a situation has arisen that requires his urgent intervention. As soon as he got home, he immediately started to. After a while, he meets a young woman named Sena through a chance encounter. He met a young woman named Sena by chance and was immediately struck by her unusual inner world. Don't forget to write in the comments which series you will watch first. I hope you liked the selection and you will subscribe to our channel and like our channel for my efforts.